In this video, we're going to be installing the TrailTech digital fan kit. Today we're working on a 2014 KTM 300 XCW, and keep in mind this process may slightly vary with each model, so you'll want to refer to the machine-specific instructions that are included with your kit. We're installing this fan kit to closely monitor our cooling system's temperature and to keep our engine in that optimum operating temperature range. When you ride those really tight, gnarly trails, it can be hard to maintain your speed and keep that air flowing through the radiators to keep your engine cool. With this new fan installed, we'll be able to keep that necessary airflow to keep our engine performing perfectly. So to begin, we'll start with removing the seat. After that, we'll remove the tank shrouds and fuel tank. And doing that's going to give us plenty of access to the right radiator. From there, we'll go ahead and drain any coolant inside the engine and radiators. And once that's all drained, we can move up and remove that louver. And then move on to loosening all the hose clamps. And remember that we're only removing the right radiator, so we're only loosening the hose clamps attaching hoses to the right radiator. So as you can see, we only loosened 3 clamps, and then we'll move on to removing the 2 radiator mounting bolts. Once you've got those bolts removed, go ahead and pull that radiator off the bike. And you may have to twist it a little bit, but just be careful not to dent or scratch anything or bend any of the radiator fins. And now we'll take our radiator over to the bench so we can install the fan assembly. And TrailTech has made it pretty simple for us. We can go ahead and sit the fan assembly right onto the radiator, and then using the supplied self-tapping screws, begin securing it down. There's 4 small screws that we'll install into the 2 holes on each side of the radiator, and we're using a T20 Torx driver to install these. And after you get all 4 of them in place, we'll go ahead and start tightening them down. TrailTech recommends 20 inch-pounds for each of these screws. The next step is to install the temperature sensor, and this one just slides in between the radiator fins. To prevent the air that flows through the radiator from affecting the temperature reading, we'll apply a little thermal grease from the small packet supplied in the fan kit only onto the fins we intend to slide the sensor through. And you only need a very small amount, as you can see here. With that in place, we'll go ahead and install the sensor. Start it with your fingers, and it's important that it goes in straight. If it's too hard to push through with your fingers, you can use the end of a hammer or something else similar to carefully install this sensor the rest of the way. And with that in place, the radiator is ready to be reinstalled onto the bike. So we'll go ahead and install that back into the 3 hoses we removed it from before. And once it's in place, go ahead and start tightening each of those hose clamps back down. After that, we'll go ahead and secure the radiator with the 2 radiator mounting bolts, and then we're ready to hook it up to power. If your bike came from KTM with a wiring harness for a fan, you'll simply locate the fan lead from your stock wiring harness and plug it into the fan power connector like you see here. If your bike didn't come stock with fan wiring, you'll need to use the provided wiring harness connecting the power leads directly to your battery, red to positive and black to negative. And then you'll route the harness along the frame up to the fan kit power connector. It's important to tie up any loose wires to keep them from getting snagged on anything or damaged. And the next step is to fill the cooling system up with coolant. You only want to fill it until the fluid is sitting about a 1/4 inch above the fins. It's always a good idea to check your coolant level after you've started the bike and ran it for a minute. On this fan kit, you can choose which temperature the fan actually kicks on at by adjusting it on the temperature meter. For this, you'll want to refer to the provided set of instructions for further information. After you've got it set to where you want it, the meter will automatically exit to display the current radiator temperature. Now all we have to do is reinstall the fuel tank and shrouds. Next comes the louver. And finally the seat. And now we're ready to hit the trail. If you have any questions about this install or about the TrailTech digital fan kit, feel free to give us a call at 1-800-336-5437. Rocky Mountain ATV MC has everything to get your bike trail ready. Thanks for watching.